Chapter 1 of Popular History of Ireland. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more free audiobooks, or to find out how you can volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. A Popular History of Ireland, from the Earliest Period to the Emancipation of the Catholics, by Thomas D'Arcy McGee. Book 6. The Native, the Naturalized, and the English Interest. Chapter 1. Civil War in England, its effects on the Anglo-Irish, the Knights of St. John, general desire of the Anglo-Irish to naturalize themselves among the native population, a policy of non-intercourse between the races resolved on in England. The closing years of the reign of Edward II of England were endangered by the same partiality for favourites which had disturbed its beginning. The Despensers, father and son, played at this period the part which Gaveston had performed 20 years earlier. The barons, who undertook to rid their country of this pampered family, had, however, at their head Queen Isabella, sister of the King of France, who had separated from her husband under a pretended fear of violence at his hands, but in reality to enjoy more freely her criminal intercourse with her favourite Mortimer. With the aid of French and Flemish mercenaries, they compelled the unhappy Edward to fly from London to Bristol, whence he was pursued, captured, and after being confined for several months in different fortresses, was secretly murdered in the autumn of 1327 by thrusting a red-hot iron into his bowels. His son Edward, a lad of 15 years of age, afterward the celebrated Edward III, was proclaimed king, though the substantial power remained for some years longer with Queen Isabella and her paramour, now elevated to the rank of Earl of March. In the year 1330, however, their guilty prosperity was brought to a sudden close. Mortimer was seized by surprise, tried by his peers, and executed at Tyburn. Isabella was imprisoned for life, and the young king, at the age of 18, began in reality that reign which, through half a century's continuance, proved so glorious and advantageous for England. It will be apparent that during the last few years of the second, and under the minority of the third Edward, the Anglo-Irish barons would be left to pursue undisturbed their own particular interests and enmities. The renewal of war with Scotland, on the death of King Robert Bruce, and the subsequent protracted wars with France, which occupied, with some intervals of truce, nearly 30 years of the third Edward's reign, left ample time for the growth of abuses of every description among the descendants of those who had invaded Ireland, under the pretext of its reformation, both in morals and in government. The contribution of an auxiliary force to aid him in his foreign wars was all the warlike king expected from his lords of Ireland.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?